Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating look, really, into the absolute peak of professional golf.
Mm,
Forget the highlight reels for a second. We're digging into what it actually takes to break into the top 10 in the world rankings.
yeah,
We've got some incredible insights here from this analysis, what it really takes to break into the top 10. And it uses things like the AI golf chatbot for some really clear data.
that's right. Crystal clear numbers.
So our mission is basically to unpack these numbers, look at the strategies, and figure out the real blueprint for getting to that elite level.
And it's probably not what a lot of people think. This isn't luck. It's not just one amazing round.
Yeah.
The source makes that really clear.
Right.
It's all about, well, this relentless focus on excellence across every part of the game is built on smart training and just an almost unbelievable level of consistency.
Okay.
So we're going to dive into the actual metrics, the things that separate the very, very best from the merely great players. And I think you'll find some takeaways that apply way beyond golf.
Optimizing for predictable success. I like that. So, okay, let's start with that foundation then. World-class consistency. You said it's non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
We know pros shoot low scores, but these top guys, they seem to do it almost every time they tee it up. It's kind of intimidating. What do the numbers actually show?
It's pretty staggering, honestly. When you look at the averages for these top players, their scoring average is 69.35.
Wow, 69.35.
Yeah. And just to give you some context, the typical PGA Tour average is usually floating around 70.5, maybe a bit higher.
So they're over a stroke better every single round.
Every single round, pretty much year-round under all that pressure. It really speaks to how well they stop scores from getting away from them.
That adds up fast over 4 days, doesn't it? So how do they do it? Is it just making tons of birdies, or is it more about playing amazing defense?
It's definitely a mix, but maybe leaning more towards that defense you mentioned.
Yeah.
They average 4.21 birdies per round. That's solid, obviously. But the real story is how they manage mistakes. They keep bogeys down to just 2.29 per round. And here's the kicker. Double bogeys. Only 0.17 per round.
Wait, 0.17, so like one double bogey every 5 or 6 rounds.
Exactly. Think about that. It's incredible error avoidance. Their average round score works out to manacle 1.66 under par, consistently.
Wow.
It's not that they never make mistakes,
Mm.
but they seem to have this radical focus on managing the downside risk.
Less than one double bogey every 5 rounds. I think I manage that on the front nine sometimes. So the coach's insight here must be all about avoiding those big, costly errors, right? Not just hitting great shots, but making sure the bad ones aren't disasters.
Precisely. The coaches looking at this data, they emphasize that these players just rarely make the big mistake. They manage their games with this, clinical discipline.
Mm.
They take their chances when they come, for sure, but crucially, they stop small errors from becoming catastrophes. It's less about constant heroics and more about systematically just cutting out the big blunders.
Yeah.
For you, the listener, it really highlights how, in almost any competitive field, success isn't always about the spectacular wins. It's often about that steady execution and, well, almost a fanaticism about preventing errors. Where are your double bogeys you could maybe eliminate?
That's a great question to think about. Okay, so let's shift from the overall score consistency to how they actually start the holes. Let's talk driving because, everyone loves the long ball, but the vibe I'm getting from this analysis is it's not just about bombing it out there, is it?
Not at all, no. The data really pushes back on that bomb and gouge idea as the only way. Elite players, yeah, they drive it far enough. You definitely need that baseline power these days.
Sure.
But the critical part is keeping it in play. It's this really calculated balance of power and almost surgical precision off the tee.
Okay, so how far is far enough? And just how accurate are we talking?
Well, the average drive distance for this group is 298 yards. That's plenty long, right? They're not giving up much there.
No, definitely not short.
But yeah, the accuracy is the real story. Fairways hit, 65.6%. So almost 2/3 of the time, they've got a clean look from the short grass.
Okay.
And maybe even more revealing, their tee shots in play. So fairway or just the first cut, still very playable. It's up at 73.6%.
Yeah, nearly 3/4 of the time.
Yeah. And penalty shots, almost zero, like 0.4% per round. It's practically non-existent. And when they're targeting, they're hitting a tight 25-yard window 58% of the time and a wider 45-yard window 82% of the time. They're just controlling that landing area incredibly well.
So it's definitely not about smashing at 340 yards and hoping for the best. It's hitting at, say, 298 and being perfectly placed for shot number 2. Less Hulk smash, more chess master, like you
Yeah,
said.
exactly that. The key takeaway is it's not about being the absolute longest guy out there. It's about being long enough, but with real precision.
Right.
Players who consistently find that fairway, they just set themselves up for much more controlled approaches. And that feeds directly into more birdie looks and fewer bogeys. It really shows that strategic advantage of control versus just brute force.
Yeah.
That principle works everywhere, doesn't it? Sometimes optimizing for the next step, setting up high probability success, is way better than swinging for the fences right now.
Yeah.
And tools like that AI golf chatbot really help players see this trade-off, how much they gain by maybe being 10 yards shorter but always in the fairway.
Okay, now this is where, for me anyway, it gets really interesting. The analysis points to approach play as the true separator. This is where the top 10 really make their move on the field, right? Taking that good drive and turning it into a real scoring chance. What makes their approach game just so good?
Yeah, this is absolutely where the magic happens, and the data is pretty stark. Controlling distance, spin, getting it close is just paramount.
So what are the numbers?
From 100 to 125 yards, that key scoring zone, their average proximity to the hole is an amazing 17.8 feet.
17.8 feet. Wow. That's basically a makeable birdie putt almost every time from that range.
Exactly. They're just giving themselves chance after chance.
Okay, what about a bit further out, those tougher mid-iron shots?
Even from, say, the 175 to 200-yard range, which is a challenging shot for anyone, their average proximity is still 32.9 feet, and they hit the green 61% of the time from there.
Hit the green nearly 2/3 of the time from almost 200 yards and leave yourself maybe a longish putt. That's incredible consistency.
It is. It's not just about finding the green. It's about giving yourself a realistic putt, avoiding those really tricky up and downs from bad spots.
So why is this part of the game so critical? Why does it separate them so much?
That's a great question. And the answer, according to the data, is that elite players gain almost half a stroke per round, specifically from that 150 to 200-yard range, compared to other pros.
Half a stroke, just from that range.
Yeah, just from those mid to long irons. Think about that over a tournament that's 2 full strokes a week. These numbers just clearly show that consistent accuracy with your mid-irons is one of the fastest ways to lower scores. So if you're looking to improve your own game, on the course or even metaphorically in your job, zeroing in on those critical mid-range skills can offer really significant gains. And that AI chatbot thing can really show you if you're losing strokes there and help focus your practice.
Okay, so even these guys miss greens sometimes, right? That's just golf.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone
Fine.
misses greens.
So what our analysis shows separates them is what happens next. Their short game isn't just good, it's like this crucial safety net that saves their score. How good are we talking?
We're talking phenomenally good. These players average plus 0.50 strokes gained short game.
Okay, break down strokes gained short game for us quickly.
Right, so strokes gained basically measures how many shots a player gains or loses compared to the average tour player from a specific situation like chipping, pitching, or clunker play. So gaining half a stroke per round just with their wedges and around the greens. That's a massive edge over 4 days.
Half a stroke around just from chipping and pitching. That's huge. Like getting a free shot every couple of days. And what about when they get it close after missing the green?
Exactly. And when they do miss the green but leave it inside, say, 6 feet, their up and down conversion rate is an incredible 51%.
51%. So half the time they miss the green but get it that close, they still make par or better.
Pretty much, yeah. They get it up and down. That's just huge for saving par, keeping momentum going, keeping the frustration down, building confidence.
So the coach's insight here has got to be that scrambling, getting up and down, it's not just nice to have, it's absolutely fundamental.
It is, 100%. The short game is your safety net. Elite players use it constantly to clean up mistakes, protect the scorecard, and just keep that positive momentum flowing, especially when the pressure's on.
Yeah.
So many amateurs spend hours banging drivers but barely touch their wedges. This data screams that the short game is critical for scoring. Mastering those chips, pitches, bunker shots, that's what takes a good player and makes them great. It's that ability to recover right, turn a likely bogey into a par. That defines resilience, whether it's a tricky lie or some unexpected business problem.
All right, last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Putting. We know nobody makes every long putt, not even the best.
Nope.
But the data shows they absolutely drain the ones they have to make. That precision inside that crucial scoring zone, those shorter putts, that seems key to their low scores. What are these must-make ranges?
The numbers here are just almost robotic. It reveals its incredible consistency where it matters most.
Yeah.
From 0 to 3 feet, their make percentage is 99.5%.
99.5. Okay, so basically automatic tap-ins.
Virtually automatic, yeah. From 3 to 5 feet, it's still an amazing 83.1%.
Wow, over 80% from 5 feet.
And then from 5 to 10 feet, which is a range where, let's be honest, a lot of amateurs really struggle,
Yeah.
they still make almost half, 49.3%.
Oh. Nearly 100% inside 3 feet, over 80% from 5 feet, nearly 50% from 10 feet. Just the mental fortitude to make those over and over, knowing how critical they are, that must be immense.
It really is. And the big takeaway here is just so clear. Those short putts, let's say under 5 feet, they're simply non-negotiable for these elite players.
Right.
They're the putts that keep the round from bleeding, they finish off the birdies they worked hard for, and they prevent those soul-crushing 3-putts that just kill momentum.
Yeah, definitely.
The source actually recommends that practicing this specific range, like 3 to 5 footers, should be a daily thing for any serious golfer. It just highlights how much pressure and reward is packed into those short ones. It's all about cutting out the easy mistakes and making sure you bank the high probability wins. That translates perfectly, doesn't it? What are the short putts in your job or life that, if you just made them consistently, would guarantee that basic level of success?
Okay, so let's put it all together. We've got all this amazing data, all these coaching insights. What does it all boil down to? The analysis distills it into 4 key lessons, right? A roadmap to the top. What are those main pillars?
Yeah, they're actually pretty straightforward concepts, but obviously incredibly hard to execute consistently. First, and maybe the biggest one, balance beats brilliance.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to be the absolute best driver or putter or iron player. You need to be truly elite, really strong across all areas. You just can't afford a major weakness.
That makes total sense. You can't hide a weakness at that level. What's number 2?
Second, as we discussed, that 100, 200-yard zone is critical. Sharpening of those mid-irons, that's tagged as one of the fastest ways to gain strokes. That's where the best really separate themselves.
Got it. Mid-irons are key.
Third, short game saves rounds. We just talked about it. Scrambling isn't a bonus. It's the difference between maybe shooting a 71 that keeps you in it and a 68 that puts you near the lead. It's your insurance policy.
Absolutely essential. And the last one, the non-negotiable.
And finally, yeah, inside 5 feet must make range. Great players just don't miss these putts consistently. That reliability under pressure from short range, that's what makes them great. These aren't just, handy tips. They're like the bedrock principles of elite golf, backed up by solid data. And again, something like that AI golf chatbot can immediately show a player which of these 4 areas needs the most work, making practice super focused.
This whole deep dive, it really drives home that true excellence, getting to that absolute peak. It's built on this foundation of just meticulously optimized fundamentals, right? Covering every single part of the game, building something complete that holds up when things get tough.
Exactly.
But beyond all these numbers, the stats, the technical skills, what about the mental side? How do these players actually maintain that focus, that discipline, that execution, round after round, year after year, with everyone watching? The data tells us what they achieve, but how do they find that the inner strength to actually do it consistently?
That is a fantastic question.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads us perfectly into maybe a final broader thought for you, the listener, to chew on. If breaking into the absolute top tier in any field, doesn't matter if it's golf, business, art, whatever, if it demands this incredible level of consistency, this kind of forensic attention to every detail, this systematic rooting out of errors, then what are the subtle, maybe overlooked mental or strategic short putts or approach shots in your own world? The things that are absolutely non-negotiable for your success. And maybe more importantly, once you identify them, how are you strengthening those skills daily with the same kind of precision and commitment that these top 10 golfers apply to their game?